Hi everyone, welcome to the Gypsy Caravan. I'm Shan. How are you doing? For today's video, it's going to be not a makeup tutorial, in case you're wondering. I decided to compile some key points to help you along if you are looking if you're on the fence about makeup trials. I was going to make this a blog post, but I feel like the attention span of just people in general these days is this big, and I thought it would be more engaging to do it in a YouTube video. So that's why we're here. So this video is going to be why I think makeup trials are super important, because they are. So I've compiled a list of at least 5 points where I feel those are the most important things as to why you should be booking a makeup trial and why you should be going through with them. And I'm going to explain it in this video. So let's get into it. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on social media. I am right here. Follow me everywhere. And I always think there's a third option, but there actually isn't, because the third option comes at the end of the video. Okay, moving on. To any makeup artist or makeup artists in general, they will all have like their own idea as to why makeup trials are important. This is not a set thing, but if you speak to most makeup artists, they will probably agree with some of the points I have here as to why you need a makeup trial, why it is important that you have a makeup trial, and why we suggest as a makeup artist why you need a makeup trial. And makeup trials are important for every kind of makeup. I feel like the only time you can maybe get away with a makeup trial is if you're doing something super basic like a lifestyle shoot, where it doesn't really require heavy makeup like this. It just requires like the clean girl aesthetic vibe, if you know what I'm saying. Or if it's like a photo shoot, fashion week, that type of thing, where you're just given a brief and you're just expected to do it. I feel like that's where trials are kind of a missed opportunity. But for weddings, absolutely. Engagements, totes, matric farewells, always. Special occasions, just in case, you never know. No matter what the circumstance, I feel a makeup trial is always important, and I will always push for one when I can help it. And it's not a case of the makeup artist is money hungry and just wants the work. It is literally to your benefit and ours. I will be explaining that now to you. I have only got 5 points here, but these I feel are like the most essential points when it comes to doing a makeup trial and why it is important. Okay, so these are going to be in like no particular order. They just listed in what came to my mind when I was creating this list. So the first point I have here is to set the tone for the day. And the reason why I put that in is because when you are booking a makeup artist, or when you as the makeup artist are consulting with your client, it is a good, you are going to be talking about things like how many people, what's the event, like where is the wedding kind of thing. You are going to be discussing those points in your booking conversation. But once you have been booked, it is essential to bring this up during the makeup trial so that you can just solidify that. Your invoices will be correct, your quotes will be correct. There is a very general to almost solid idea of what's going to be happening that day. So you are sitting with your client in the makeup trial, you are getting reference photos, you are looking at what you guys can do, what would work well with the dress, the hair. You are getting all these great amazing details in terms of the makeup, but you also need like a schedule for the day, especially if it's a wedding where you could do up to like 10 people in the day, but you need to have them already by 12 because she walks down at 2, or she has a first look with her fiance at like 1, and you need to now try and find time along with the hairstylist to do 10 people's faces. Like, a schedule is key. So you need to be able to time your makeup to fit in with their schedule, and that's why makeup trial is important, to get your timing right. Timing is essential when it comes to specifically bridal makeup. If it's like a matric farewell and stuff like that, you would maybe only be working around the hairstylist, maybe the mom as well. And timing is of the essence, but it's not as important as a scheduled set day, like a bridal party or a bride. So it's important to know like the schedule, your timeline, how many people you're going to be doing. Like, everything needs to be set in stone before you touch anyone's faces, because this also affects your invoice and your end of the day cost when it comes to your makeup. Obviously, considering like cancellation fees, running late fees, there's a whole bunch of fees that get involved over and above just doing the person's makeup. So it's always good to include this type of conversation in your makeup trial. The most obvious point as to why a makeup trial is important is obviously the makeup. This is where you get to see what foundation works with your client, what sort of skin they have, their hair tone, their undertone, their eye color. Are their lashes curled? Are they wearing permanent false extensions? Do they want false lashes? Are they getting their brows microbladed? These are all the types of things that you need to be looking for and taking note of during the makeup trial. If you just go in blind, yes, some makeup artists are very professional, have been in the industry for a while and can totally get away with it, but it's always good just to have a practice run. No matter how good you are, it's always essential, I find, especially for me. It just centers me more, it calms me down more on the day that I am doing your makeup. If I have done it before and know exactly what you like, it's so much easier to add onto than to take away. If you don't know your client well enough and you add a thick eyeliner and they don't want a thick eyeliner, go to try and take that thick liner off. Oh, it is an issue and it cuts into your time for the day. So I feel that in doing a makeup trial, you get an understanding of your client, you get an understanding of your client's face type, eye shape, brow shape. There's so many elements that go into creating a makeup look before you even put the makeup on, that this makeup trial will help bring those things to light. Also, another thing that kind of gets lost in everything as to why I think makeup trials are important is to actually see if you and your client gel. I have done a few clients where the tension was thick and you could cut it with a knife. Not because I did a bad job, not because she was a horrible person, just because our personalities clashed. And sometimes for certain people that alone won't get you booked again, because the vibe does not feel right to them and they don't feel comfortable in your presence. Given, obviously, like I am a nice person, but if I just don't gel well with you because maybe you're an extrovert and I'm an introvert and that clashes, I won't get booked again because she felt uncomfortable. Not because I'm a horrible person, not because she's a horrible person, just because the overall tone and vibe was just a miss. So I've had it where like I've had very quiet appointments because I don't like to talk. I like to just get in and do the makeup. I will talk if you talk to me, but I kind of wait for you to start the conversation because I'm an introvert, I'm shy. I do like to just keep to myself. And for some people, they can misread that and just think, oh, well, the vibe is not right, so I'm just not going to have her do my makeup. Even though I did your makeup really, really well, we just don't gel together. So I feel like in the makeup trial, that could also be a determining factor as to whether or not you get booked or not. Some people do rely on a good repertoire between the makeup artist and the customer. Obviously, I'm going to try my best to make you feel as comfortable as possible and as secure as possible, but sometimes it just doesn't always work out the way you want it to, and that can affect things. And you can totally find that out in your makeup trial just by doing the makeup trial. Communication is a big thing, and if there is none, it's kind of a no-go. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. So a makeup trial is just a good determining factor as to not only getting the makeup down right, checking for allergies, testing for colors, testing for styles, doing all the good makeup, but it's also on the other side of the spectrum is, do you guys gel together? Do you guys communicate well? Is there a vibe? Because when there's a vibe, girl, whether your makeup's good or not, she's gonna remember you because you made her laugh. You guys had something in common. You guys are exactly the same person. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes that just eases things, especially if it's a bride. She needs to be calm, cool, and cumbly collected that day. Cool as a cucumber is what I was actually trying to say, but that didn't come out like that. This is a very sensitive topic to talk about. Cash, money, getting paid. Not a lot of people like to bring that up. It's the last thing that gets brought up in conversation, honestly, but the best thing to do before you even touch that person's face is to find out a budget. Do they fit your budget? Do you fit their budget? I'm not necessarily saying drop them completely as a customer if they don't quite meet your budget expectations or you don't quite meet theirs. But obviously you as a makeup artist can make things work. Obviously if her budget is here and you charge here, that's a big difference, and at the end of the day you still need to make bank. But if her budget is here and you charge there, I feel like there's a little bit of wiggle room. I've done that a couple of times where I'm like, you know what, okay, it's fine, I can work with this, it's okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? There's always wiggle room, but that is just a determining factor between you and what you are willing to do as a makeup artist. But yeah, that's kind of a thing that happens before the makeup trial. But why I feel a makeup trial is super important when it comes to invoicing and cash flow and making your bank, is a lot of people don't understand why they need a makeup trial if they have already booked you for the event, and why you are charging them for a makeup trial when they've already booked you for the event. And it all comes down to just one keyword for me, and it's called protection. Protection for you, protection for me. Because I can book you as a makeup artist, or you can book me as a makeup artist. You're definitely using me for the event, but you still want a makeup trial, and then all of a sudden you can turn around and say, well, actually, you know what, I didn't quite like the makeup. I'm gonna go with Sally Sue over there because she's closer to me, she charges less, and she can do my mom for free or something stupid like that. So now I've gone and done your makeup for free, have now lost out on the actual job, and I haven't made bank. But I've used my entire kit on you, I've driven to you, used petrol, used my tools, used my knowledge to do your face, and I haven't made a single cent, and you've walked away with a free full face of makeup. That's not okay. That's an absolute no for me. A lot of makeup artists get run through the mills and are expected to do a lot of things for exposure, and well, just to be honest, exposure at the end of the day doesn't pay my rent. So that's why we charge you for a makeup trial. And the way in which it protects you is if you don't like the makeup, you can still pay that artist and close her off altogether and just say, look, it's not working out, I'm gonna go elsewhere, and you won't have that makeup artist on you anymore, because now you've gotten a free makeup look and she's now insistent on doing the makeup for the wedding when you're not entirely happy. It's just to bookend everything and to make sure that you get what you want, she gets what she needs, and at the end of the day we are all happy family. This is not to say that makeup artists are money hungry and they are just charging for every bit and piece because they need the cash. It's not that. It's literally, from me, my perspective as a makeup artist, protection. If I'm doing something for free and you're out posting your cool makeup look that I did for you and I didn't see a damn cent from it, that's not fair. I'm still providing you with the service. You wouldn't go to a hairdresser to trial highlights and not pay. That's not how services work. I do a service, you pay me. I do a service badly, we can talk about that, because there are times where maybe the person didn't like the makeup and you can offer them a short discount because it's not your fault. Or, again, it just comes to gel. If you're not gelling, if she doesn't like it, you can work out your wiggle room. There's always wiggle room. If you're willing to die on a hill and that be it, cool. If you're not, wiggle it out, girl. But at the end of the day, you should be charging for a makeup trial. It is essential. That person can turn around and drop you in a second and you get paid nothing for it. Like, kind of to close off everything, just a general, like, why my makeup trials are important is because then you get to see the finished look before the actual day. So it offers you a lot of time to tweak certain things. So maybe the makeup is not working with the hair, or maybe the makeup is too dark for the dress, or maybe she reacted with an allergic reaction to the foundation. It's something you can change and fix before the actual day. I have had a couple brides in the past where we did 4 makeup trials. One bride of mine, I've done 4 makeup trials with her because the foundation wasn't quite right, or I can't actually really remember what the problem was. She wanted to try different styles and I only had a set amount of time that day to do like 2 looks. And obviously with wiping everything off, nothing was sitting as well. So we just spread out 4 trials before she got married and it turned out great. She loved it in the end. But that's how some people can be. Some people can generally just be very high maintenance, and you just have to be patient and realize that as much as you want them to look perfect on their wedding day, so do they, and they just want, the best experience, and it's your job to give them the best experience. So if some person wants 8 makeup trials, honey, you need to give them 8 makeup trials. It's just important that you do at least give them one so that they can see everything together. The hair, the makeup, the dress, the accessories, the lighting. It just needs to be a thing, and it needs to be invoiced. It needs to be itemized in your invoice, in your quote, that this is the makeup trial, this is what I'm charging, this is why you need one and why it is important to have one. Okay, 2023, we are here to make bank. We are not here to be taken for a ride. I feel like that's pretty much just like the 5-ish, 4 to 5-ish points that I came up with as to why I think makeup trials are important. Different makeup artists will have their own opinions, but yeah, that's pretty much mine. If you are a makeup artist out there and you want to add to this list, totes, in the comments. You see that right there? Leave your comments there. Or if you're just a person who had an experience with a makeup trial and you want to add, like, totes, let's open up this conversation as to why makeup trials are important, because it is, and it's not something to be neglected. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave your comments and thoughts and ideas down below. It would be really helpful. Maybe enlighten me on something that I missed, or add something that is actually really important that I didn't know or overlooked. It would be really, really helpful if we can have this conversation. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media. Like, comment, share, do the works. And I will see you in my next tutorial. Don't forget, whenever you can, to refer the Gypsy Caravan. That will be linked down below too. That is my website with my portfolio, if you are curious. I keep forgetting to mention that in the videos, and it's like the most important thing I need to add into my videos, and I just keep forgetting them. So thank you for watching. Bye.